All right. Hey guys. How are you guys doing tonight? So I decided it would be kind of fun to do a little loop pedal tutorial. So basically, what I like to do with the loop pedal is I either start with a beat or I'll start with a groove and then I'll add other pieces to it until I have like a full, almost backing track. And then I like to solo over that or make melodies over it one way or the other. So let me briefly go into that. So first, I might lay down like maybe a 4 on the floor kind of thing. So I'm just going to slap the strings using my thumb, kind of like a drumstick, and just get a beat going like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the loop pedal, the record, play, overdub button on this one. And this is a Digitech Jam Man, if you're wondering. And basically, I'm just going to hit that button right when I start doing this. So it's sometimes it helps to kind of like dance a little bit, do it a little bit before you start, and then stomp the pedal while you're playing. 1, 2, 3, stomp. Boom. So now I've got that little bass drum going on. So hopefully it's in time. The hardest part is you got to stomp in time as well. So now I want to add a snare drum to it. So I'm just going to slap all the strings with the flat of my hand to get that sound. Oh, you got to hit the record button first. So it's still on the playback. So basically, you hit the pedal again before you start doing that, and then you end up with another part of the loop. And so when I got back around, I heard that I had had 2 hits kind of close together. So that's how I knew that I was back around at the beginning of the pattern. So then a lot of times I'll come up with a groove without it recording, and then I'll record it along with this. So I turn the pedal off usually, and I just kind of mess around until I find something I like. So I think that's good right there. So I hit the pedal again, and I just start in time. And then it loops it. So then after I have that, I'm in the key of G. So I just try to find something up high that uses that chord. I'm thinking this sounds more like G minor than G major. So a note that I might be able to use with that G, I could use a B flat, and then I could use, let's see, what's the other note? An F. So I'm gonna do them up a little bit higher though, I think. I'm gonna come up with a rhythm that I like. And I might strum or I might just pluck the strings. So I'll just have to decide. Let's see what sounds better. That's too much like Oya Como Va. But that's if I'm like picking the strings with my fingernail. So I'm just kind of like flicking through them. So I'm gonna change it up a little bit so it's a slightly different rhythm. Doesn't quite fit. So you just kind of mess around with it until you find something. And you can do this with the pedal not lit up so that you can kind of figure out what you want. And then you hit the pedal again to kind of start it over, looping again. So which one do you like better? Do you like when I'm doing the down with the fingernail? Or do you like when I'm plucking the strings like this? I'm gonna wait till someone says something and see what you guys think. It's kind of fun just grooving along to it, just kind of sitting here chilling. I think I'm gonna go with the fingernails because it has the most different vibe. So I'm just go. hear it's looped. So the other thing is remembering how long you've looped for. So now I've got really 4 loops going on. I've got the slapped bass drum sound, where I'm using my thumb. Then I've got the snare sound, where I'm slapping the strings with the flat of my hand. And then I've got my bass groove, which was that, that whole thing. And then I've got my little guitar part up here, where I'm using my fingernails like a pick to get that kind of sound. So now I'm free to either solo over it or just make a melody. So I was soloing over with the G minor scale. So if you're interested, a couple little scales, that's what I was using there. Essentially just those notes, but using lower octaves of the notes as well. So let me know how it's sounding out there. I want to make sure it's coming through clear and not too muddy. I'm going to turn the low end down, turn the highs up, just in case. But that's one example of a groove. So the other thing you could do, now I'm hitting the stop button and holding it down to clear, because that's how this loop pedal clears. But what you could also do is you could start with the bass groove and then add the percussion on top. It's just you got to make sure you play in time. If you're going to use a loop pedal, you got to start right when you start playing. So first I'm going to come up with a groove. So I don't really have one yet. That's kind of cool. Okay, so I'm having trouble coming up with something that I like. I think I'm going to go a different route. I'm going to use a Mixolydian mode, so that has a more major sound. Okay. So there's my groove. May have held it out too long. Let's see. That sounds right. So that's just, once again, the snare drum on beat 2 and beat 4. So that's a good rhythm track for this one. I want to keep it simple because I could cloud it up too much with some other sounds, but we'll just keep it like that. So this one's in C Mixolydian. So I'm going to use a C and an E up here, a little piece of a C major chord. And I might add a little bit of notes in there. So I got a cool little rhythm. So hopefully that gives you an idea of what you can do with the loop pedal. So is there anything anybody wants to hear? Because maybe I can make a loop and do a song that already exists instead of just kind of making one up. So just let me know if there's anything you guys want to hear. And also let me know if you can hear the sound okay. I'm not sure how loud the mic is, if it needs more volume. I might turn it up a little because it looks like it needs a little bit more. Is that a little bit better? Or is that still pretty quiet? Just let me know if you can see that. But that's kind of how you use the loop pedal. If you want to end a song, you just hit the stop button and play a chord right at the same time. Just at a logical place. So I'm trying to think of songs that work well with loops. So basically, if you're trying to find a cover song to loop, you want to find one that has a really repetitive part. So maybe something like Pumped Up Kicks by, what's that band? Foster the People? Because that has the same groove pretty much throughout the entire song. So I'm going to do it in a different key just to keep it kind of not too low frequency so that it just doesn't get too muddy, basically, is why. I got to remember the bass line, though. So I'm going to loop that and then get on to the next part. I'll have to figure out some chords to play. If you know the chords to the song, it kind of helps too. Might be too busy, but that's okay. Okay, so those will work for the chords. Let's see. And you can hear I didn't quite end the loop at the right time. So there's a little looseness to the end. That's why it's really important to end it at the right time. So this sounds kind of cool. But now we can add like a snare drum part. So I just basically hit the pedal to have it record again, and then just slapped on beats 2 and 4 to imitate a snare drum. So we don't really need a bass drum part because that bass groove's kind of got it. So I just gotta remember how the melody goes so we can play that. Can't remember how the melody goes. And you can just solo over it. So that's kind of the kind of thing you can do with the loop pedal. So if you want a cover song, you could do that. I'm just trying to make up stuff. Yeah, the channel's growing slowly. It's taken a really long time to get to this point, but it's been a cool journey. It's been kind of nice, and I appreciate everybody's support. It's still a small channel right now, but it's a lot of fun making these videos for you guys. So if you like this video, let me know. If you want more loop pedal stuff or more of some different things. But that's kind of how you do it. I think it's, let's see. Now I've got it. So that's kind of how you do it. You gotta sometimes pick out the melodies a little bit if you don't already know them. Should have picked a song that I already know all the little melody parts. And then you just gotta know what key you're in, and you just keep going from there. So are there any songs that you guys would like to hear with the loop pedal? Let's see. I'm gonna do another groove. I'm trying to think of one that goes, if you can think of a song that basically just stays on the same groove the entire time, those are ideal for doing loops over. So there are a lot of Katy Perry songs, but for some reason, none of them are coming to mind. I don't know the chord progressions to most of those. But you could also do a lot of songs that just do a 1-5-6-4 or a 2-5-1. So I'm just going to loop a 2-5-1. And so basically I'm just going to do like almost guitar chords, where I'm doing the root of the chord, the third of the chord, and the seventh of the chord. If that doesn't make sense to you, then just know that this is a minor seventh shape. And you can look that up, and maybe I'll do some videos on this. But I'm just going to loop that real quick. Two, three, four. So I didn't quite hit it at the same time. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, so I didn't loop that in time. So I'm going to start with a beat first and then do that. Sometimes it's better to start with the beat. You got to stomp right when you're playing, or it kind of throws it off a little bit. So now I've got a little groove to go over. So then you have a little groove that you can kind of jam over. So this is a 2-5-1. It's just a common jazz progression, but you can tell there are certain people that use it a lot. Sunday Morning uses this kind of groove. So I just got to think about the key of G. Let's see. So that's not quite the melody. There it is. And you can just solo over it. You still hear a little bit of buzz from where that truss rod didn't catch everything. All right, so I know this has been a long-winded video. I was just kind of doing this for fun. I finally got internet up in the new house, so I thought I would test it out with some live streaming. But I'll be back with a real video for you guys next Tuesday. So thanks, and just let me know down below if there's anything that you'd like to hear or anything that you'd like to see on the channel. I'll try to get that to you as soon as I can. And get prepared for the new year. It's going to be a pretty cool one. All right, bye guys.